Hello from the Living Coast Discovery Center. I'm so excited that you are here. My name is Karen Quiros, and I am lucky enough to be the educator for the Coastal Education Program here at the Living Coast. Even though the center is closed to the public, and I'm not able to lead programs daily on site, I still get to bring these fantastic experiences to you virtually. This is part of a series of videos where I am highlighting some of the Living Coast animal ambassadors. Today, I will be talking about desert tortoises, and this is Mr. T. He is a desert tortoise here and an animal ambassador here at the Living Coast. Desert tortoises can live up to 50 to 60 years and get to be about 25 pounds. It is summer now, and we have been experiencing some very hot days. Mr. T has been just fine because they can live in areas where it gets up to 130 to 140 degrees Fahrenheit. This is because they spend 90 to 95% of their life in the burrows that they dig. Some tortoise burrows have been found to be 30 feet long and maybe 40 degrees cooler than the land above them. Do you feel cooler when you go into a shady area when it's hot? I definitely do too. These burrows actually help other desert animals to keep cool as well. Burrowing owls, kangaroo rats, jackrabbits, gopher snakes, banded geckos, and other animals rely on these shady areas. Another thing that helps tortoises survive in the heat is that they can live without a drink of water for up to a year. Sounds crazy, right? Taking a drink of water really helps me feel better when it's hot outside, but tortoises can get their water from the food that they eat. They also dig basins or little grooves in the ground, and they can remember where they are, so if it rains, they know where to go and get water quickly. Tortoises can actually store up to a liter of water in their body, so they don't have to rely on finding water in the desert very often. I just mentioned that they can get water from the food that they eat. So, what do you think tortoises eat? Well, I've given you a big hint by having Mr. T eat a bit while I'm talking about him. So if you said plants, you're absolutely correct. Desert tortoises are herbivores or plant eaters. They like to eat grass, cactus, legumes, herbs, and flowers. They really rely on plants that are usually only around for about 1 to 2 months each year. So this means between April and June, these animals are eating a lot to store up for the hot, dry summer. When it gets really hot during the summer, the tortoises can go over into their burrows and really slow down their activity, which means they don't have to eat much. Mr. T's burrow is right here, whenever he needs it. During the winter, when it's cold, they're also not as active. They brumate or hibernate. They will put a wall of dirt at the entrance to keep out the predators and rain and the cold. When they come out in the spring, they are ready to eat. Can I show you one of their favorite foods to eat? Tortoises do not have teeth. Instead, they have a beak that helps them to eat very tough vegetation, including something that we see often around San Diego. This is actually the fruit of a prickly pear cactus. It is called tuna. I'm gonna offer Mr. T some, and I think you'll see how much he likes it. I think he's going for it. I wanted to show you that he can eat this prickly food with his tough beak. I also wanted to show you that he can eat this food because by eating it, he's actually helping the cactus. Not only do desert tortoises help other animals by providing shady burrows, these tortoises also help plants by dispersing or spreading out the seeds. It takes tortoises a pretty long time to digest their food, and they can't digest the seeds. So as they're walking around, they actually will poop out the seeds, and that is going to spread them with lots of space to grow. And if they have sun and water, they will grow into a whole new prickly pear plant. The plants can't walk, So it's good for them to have a helper. I've mentioned some ways that tortoises can survive in the heat, but they also have some cool adaptations that help them protect them against predators. You've probably heard that tortoises can go into their shell to protect themselves. And this is true. They can tuck their head in and then wrap their legs around so they look just like a rock. Their shell has 2 layers. So the top layer is made of these scutes, kind of like hard scales, and they're actually made of the same material as your fingernails, called keratin. Right inside that layer, they have a second layer made of bone. Their legs also have really tough scales right here. And those are gonna make sure that when a coyote or a raccoon or a bird of prey does see them, they are completely protected by this tough covering. Tortoises are slow, so being able to look like a rock and have a tough covering are important. They also have very strong claws for digging, and to carry their heavy shell, they have strong legs. Remember how I mentioned that they can store water in their body? Well, they will actually release this water if they're feeling threatened. Scientists think this might help them be lighter and therefore easier for them to move away from the threat. Pretty interesting adaptations, huh? Shall we do a quick review to see what we've learned today? How about a quick quiz? Great. Question 1. Where do desert tortoises go when it is very hot and they need to cool down? They go into their burrows. Question 2. How long can a tortoise live without drinking water? Up to 1 year. Question 3. How do tortoises help plants? Well, do you remember? They eat the plants and they poop out the seeds so that they will have space to grow. Question 4. How do tortoises protect themselves from predators? They can look like a rock and have a tough shell and scales to protect them. Well done! Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you learned a lot about the desert tortoise. The more we understand about animals around us, the more willing we are to protect and support them. Help us spread the word. Go find someone and tell them at least one cool fact about desert tortoises. Mr. T and I thank you. Bye for now.